All right, Lepore, let's get right into the Leafs talk.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned off the top, the Leafs currently sitting at 4-3. Things are not going great, but let's rewind a little bit to that Dallas Stars game
Sure.
on Thursday, October 20th. The big thing from that game that everyone remembers, of course, is Nick Robertson making his season debut for the Leafs, scoring 2 goals, including the overtime winner. It felt to me like a Star is Born moment. And I don't want to say this guy's like Austin Matthews or Mitch Marner or even William Nylander, but it feels like it's been forever, Lepore, since the Leafs have actually developed a forward who's made an impact at the NHL level.
Yes.
Outside, obviously, of Matthews, Marner, and Nylander. It's been years now. And again, they've traded away picks. They've been picking defensemen in the first round. They haven't had like these premium picks that they've used on forwards. But it seems like finally they have a young player who plays forward who could contribute in the top 6 and actually be an impact player.
Yeah, 100%. I've said a few times on this show that you look at the Leafs lineup. I mean, I hate to use the word easy, but how the lineup was built at the end of the day with the high-end talent. Nylander was picked high. Marner was picked high. Matthews was picked high. Riley was picked high. Even going back, Kadri was picked high. They signed Tavares in free agency. And that's all great. I mean, it doesn't matter how you get good as long as you get good. But to be one of those teams at the very, very top of the mountain, you have to get your talent from all different directions. The draft, free agency, and by the draft, I mean deeper in the draft, free agency, and high picks. And I've made the comment that if the Leafs really want to get to that, really do want to get to the top of that mountain, they need to hit somewhere. They need someone picked in a second, third, fourth round to become a very good player or star player. You look back, man, at how teams have done it. I mean, everyone knows like the Red Wings, Datsuk and Zetterberg being picked late. You have to give credit to them. Like there's a lot of luck involved, but heck, I mean, they did it and they developed them. Even like Chicago, like wasn't Duncan Keith, I think was a second or third round pick. Even back to the
second round pick.
Lidstrom too. Everyone talks about
second round pick.
Yeah, little known fact. People don't like to talk about. Mike Sillinger was drafted in the first round by the Red Wings, and then they picked Lidstrom in the second round. Insane. But if you
even
look
the Lightning, Lepore.
Oh, the
Braden
Lightning
Point and Nikita Kucherov. Point was a third round pick. Kucherov was a second round pick.
Wasn't there something with Point? Like he was highly ranked and then teams just kept jumping over him for some reason.
I think because he was just small.
Because
awesome. I remember in the WHL, like he put up crazy numbers.
Yeah, he made no sense. Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he dropped to the third round. I think it was a size issue with him.
Yeah. Wasn't it too, and speaking of the Lightning, with Brad Richards? Wasn't there, like, didn't he also play with LeCavalier and Rimouski? And I think he was just putting up crazy numbers. So everyone was kind of like, is he actually good? And then Tampa took a flyer and hit a number 1 center. But yeah, like you need that luck and you need that development to get to the top of that mountain. And I'm not saying we've done it now because we have Robo, but it's nice to see that there's potential there. This is a big year for the Leafs. I mean, of course it is, but this is a big year for the Leafs in the way of the young kids to me. We'll have a full assessment by season's end of Sandin, Liljegren, Robo. What can their contribution be? Because that's what we need. And especially from the way the season has started, I think you can put a big red circle on our defensive depth and our forward depth because it needs a lot of help. So that's where we're going to have to get it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Nick Robertson because this guy's been through a lot. And it seemed like he was going to be here a lot earlier than it turned out. And again, he's still very young. The guy's like 21 years old, but he has scored at a high clip at every level of hockey. His last year of junior, 55 goals in 46 games. He scored 17 goals in his last 30 games in the AHL and immediately makes an impact against the Dallas Stars in his season debut, scoring 2 goals. Now, I made this comment. I put out a video on TikTok and YouTube, and people were making fun of me. Not everyone. Some people were. I said that if Nick Robertson sticks in this top 6, and right now the Leafs are giving him every opportunity under the sun to play with Tavares and Nylander, that he could score 25 to 30 goals. And before people call me crazy, Michael Bunting, who was a 4th-round pick, scored 23 goals last season.
Yeah, he's got the
Toronto's
talent.
top 6.
He's got the talent. It could happen for sure.
So if this dude plays in the top 6, sticks with Tavares and Nylander, who knows? Maybe the Leafs shuffle it up because Sheldon Keefe, he has been shuffling these lines, man. When things aren't going well, he is not afraid to go in the blender. Who knows? Maybe he starts playing with Matthews and Marner. This guy has the shot and the talent, in my opinion, to hit 25 goals this season. If Michael Bunting can do it, I think Nick Robertson can do it in a similar role. I'm not saying it's a lock, but based on his skill set and the talent around him and the opportunity he's getting, I think he can. Now, one thing I will say about Nick Robertson, he's not at the same level of the big 4 in terms of like the ability to create his own shot out of nothing and dangle a couple of guys and just make an incredible play. He's more of like, I'm going to grind in the corners, work hard, get into good shooting positions. He needs to be fed the puck. He's kind of honestly like Michael Bunting in that way. He has a way better shot than Michael Bunting, but Bunting, he's another guy. He can't really create by himself. He needs to be set up by Matthews and Marner.
Yeah, you don't get excited when Bunting enters the zone on his own. You're not jumping out of your seat.
Exactly. And I kind of view Robertson in the same way, just that Robertson has an elite shot at this point. And if he's in his wheelhouse, if the puck is coming in his wheelhouse, he's going to let it rip.
Yeah, he's Cole Caulfield, right?
Yeah. Oh, that was another thing. All these Habs fans, Cole Caulfield is way better.
Well, I think it started, to be fair, Bruno, I think it was a lot of Leafs fans trolling, being like, Robertson's just as good as Caulfield.
Yeah, fair enough. And like, listen, everyone, Cole Caulfield was the 15th overall pick in the draft. He's a better player than Nick Robertson.
Really good. Yeah.
Like, let's all chill out. But no, I love the little trolling back and forth between Habs fans and Leaf fans. It never gets old, man.
Amazing. Why we're here.
All right, Lepore, anything else from that game that you want to talk about?
That felt like a big win. Like at the time, I mean, they've won one and lost one since then, but just like playing a good opponent at home, Dallas scored first. I think the whole like Robertson getting 2 goals, like that felt, I'm not going to say like a season turnaround game, but it was a big win. And it felt good to get that one, especially like in overtime, not say in a shootout.
Yeah, I agree with you there, man. It felt really good. Like if they had lost that game in overtime, it just would have been a bad feeling, man, in Leafs Nation with how poor the start of the season was for the Leafs. Like those first 3 or 4 games if they had lost that game in overtime. So yeah, like you said, it was just good vibes all around, picking up that W.